Hello.
Welcome to tonight's episode of Tabletop Galaxy presents Broken Space Halcyon Days Session 3 Part 2 or as a reasonable person would call it, Tabletop Galaxy presents Broken Space Halcyon Days Episode 6. We are, as always, a Star Wars Edge of the Empire actual play podcast / Twitch show / YouTube series where we come together, play in a shared universe with our sister program of Second Sunrise. So I am, as always, the GM / SM, Space Master of this game at Robert the GM, and we are going to introduce our players to you, and they will introduce their characters, and then we'll recap and jump into tonight's very excitingly tense session. So, Alex, tell us about yourself.
Hello, I am Alex. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character at most cast for. He is a Caloran, who bounty hunter gadgeteer. A Caloran is a green, very tall looking semi-amphibious guys with a big throat, almost like they're puffing it up like a frog.
Awesome.
I've got it down to a T now.
Yeah, wonderful. Wait.
I'm playing Bishop. He's let's see, a gank assassin. We both share he, him pronouns. Short and sweet.
Jay.
Hello, I'm Jay. I have he, him pronouns. I'm playing Vans, the Blue Rhodian gunslinger with his trusty pistol, Jexica, who's about to have a lot of interesting action and strain tonight. Left on a cliffhanger.
Tasty.
Especially since you left Jexica at home.
Sure
yes,
did.
I did. And there actually, I think, is probably smart at this point.
And Io.
Hi, I'm Io. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm playing Zale Meshta, who uses they, them, and she, her pronouns. She's a Twi'lek charmer / force-sensitive emergent, and is probably soon to also face some interesting issues, strain, people trying to eat her, who knows?
I guess I could see why that might be strain-inducing. Anyway, I once again am Robert the GM. I use he, him pronouns, and I'll be running tonight's game. So, for those of you who are new to the program, this is basically a part 2 of our session 3. So, if you're familiar with the Edge of the Empire system, we're not going to be rolling for obligation or destiny points tonight because we're basically doing one session every 2 episodes to kind of keep in line with our sister show. So to catch you up, our destiny points currently are, the party has 2 light side points, and I have 3 dark side points, which I'm sure is going to stay that way this whole night. Definitely never going to change. Don't worry about it. And obligation, last session we rolled not just Vans's obligation, but in fact rolled a 55. For those who are unaware, obligation is a really cool mechanic on Edge of the Empire that represents that nobody is just kind of smooth sailing out here on the outer rim. And so, for instance, we have characters with debts or with family ties, right? However, Vans has 2 particular obligations that can come up, and 55 on our chart of fun, as I'm going to call it, I don't know if that's how the players would call it, is his obsession, which has to do with his blaster tied back to his mother and her death. And a double number on an obligation roll, like a 55, doubles the strain penalties. So right now, Vans has -4 to their strain threshold, and the rest of the party has -2. Real nasty stuff. which seems only fitting as we move in. Unless we have any issues technically, I'm going to move forward and tell the people at home what they might have missed or happened last week. Wait, do we have the go ahead?
Yeah, I think we're all right.
Perfect, because so we know. All right, perfect. So last week on Halcyon Days, the party left Socorro with a mission from a Twi'lek kind of representative from the Vanderajar clan, one Meshta, in fact, a distant cousin of Zale. They basically, under a decent amount of duress, agreed to find some Black Sun operatives on the Quen space station, a very large space station used for docking and gambling and entertainment, to find some Black Sun members and find out if and how they were involved in some sabotaging of Hutt ships in Hutt space. Right, there apparently have been issues with crashes and not quite correct hyperspace jumps. So the party, having gotten that information, jumped to Quen Space Station, having a bit more trouble than they expected from the computer. Jumped right in front of a large Hutt ship, but actually made a friend that way, and leveraged that friend and another contact from Atmos's past, another fellow bounty hunter, to enter the Royal K Casino, a massive, like the tops, right? Like imagine if Jay Gatsby was in Star Wars and ran a casino, right? This like super lavish, rich casino. They were able to basically infiltrate and learn more about a certain Black Sun operative by the name of Dreel Zod, Nautilin, which are these kind of squid-like amphibious people, kind of greenish,
big shiny eyes.
Yeah, big black shiny eyes with these kind of dreadlock-like kind of tendrils coming out the back of their head. Who was apparently one of the highest ups Black Sun operatives who kind of was on the station. They were able to gain a VIP access to the top deck and went up there. So their current situation is the party is in the VIP, very tip top, the actual literal top of the Quen space station, in this private gambling room. There's only about like maybe 20 people spread about this like large room, and the party is in front of a singular spot table. There's like 4 guards kind of in the perimeter, just not making too much business. One guard that just escorted them up there, just like standard human with like a little stun baton, just like, make sure people don't do anything too untoward. And then sitting down in front of them in kind of very fancy black and gold formal attire with rings on their finger, and they're normally Nautilins, like kind of dreadlock, are kind of all over the place. Seemingly just by like sheer tension and force of will, all their tendrils just kind of locked into a singular kind of ponytail arrangement, with a double blaster on their hip, a very notable one for one Vans, and is Dreel Zod with this kind of large hulking reptilian figure, this Paxus, the Dashad, which is like a massive like reptilian figure with these kind of 4-pronged mouths, and they have like a bunch of cybernetic like armor and stuff. They don't appear to be armed other than cybernetically enhanced, as much as a, like 6.5 foot tall cybernetically enhanced reptilian person can be unarmed.
6.5 feet, you say?
Right. It's, I mean, they're large beings to my knowledge, at least.
Not as big
yes.
as
they are.
So, like the thing I saw was hulking reptilian species. So it's like 6.5 foot tall seemed appropriate to me.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I think we're gonna do, as basically the last scene we saw was Dreel Zod, this Nautilin spinning around, is I actually am gonna immediately ask Vans for a cool check. This is basically a fear roll. So I'm gonna say that this is going to be a hard difficulty, but I'm going to upgrade it because you see Banshee's Wail, your mother's double blaster, right on their hip.
Okay. I have a cinematic or a scene in my head on how this is happening.
Yeah.
But with this roll,
Mm-hmm.
would I be able to get a boost because his mother's last words were "stay alive"? That rings through his head.
I will say so. Although I will also ask, do you think you should have a setback because you don't have Jessica?
See, I'm just contemplating that. No, I mean, I can see why because I don't have it, but the fact that he's been so stressed out and he didn't want to go, and he knew that if he brought Jessica, it would get him into a lot more trouble. Okay. Hey, and the fact that he left her at home, it's like, okay, because he had a feeling he might lose her. And because he knew he was going somewhere and would have to give it away. And he wasn't sure if he was going to get it back. So that was the reason behind.
Hey, sounds good. So no penalty for that. So for the viewers at home, a cool check is Van's going to keep their cool in this moment, right? I mean, yeah. So I've got so it's basically going to be 2 purple and a red die here.
Okay. And I do get my boost, you said?
Yes.
All right. So here goes the cool roll.
Okay. So with that, I think you, Vance, look in Drielzad's eyes, and you are flashed back to not that long ago. You hear the klaxons blaring on your mother's ship and people running around. You hear blaster fire in the distance. Uncle Rex is standing next to you, and then you see a door get blasted out, and you see Drielzad with a different blaster walking up, and you see in that moment your mother having gotten blasted back by that door, right? Still fighting, still with the blaster raised, but she kind of sees Driel with some more people flooding behind, and you see her look in your eyes, throw you the blaster, and say, "Stay alive." And you just feel yourself running away, and all you can think of and all you see and hear as you see Drielzad once again is that blaster shot and the sight of your mother being killed by Drielzad. So you can play it out however you want, but you have not kept your cool.
So Vans has been through this entire trip. Everyone has been known. He's just been annoying everyone because he's just been twitchy, which Vans is normally a cool cucumber. He doesn't move. He's just very, very smooth, but he has just been actively nervous, very twitchy, just stressed. Coming up here, he's stressed. Suddenly, as he walks in, he sees it. His hand goes to his blaster. Immediately, he's going to quick draw, and then there's nothing there. And then he's just his fist tightens into, his hand just tightens into this fist of anger as he's just standing there. Based on the cool roll and the fact that I failed, my original thing was that he was going to be, originally he was going to calm himself and just be pissed. But I don't know, because of that roll, if that's still possible or not. So
just mechanically, you are going to take a strain, and for this kind of encounter, whether social or combat, this is basically fear, right? I'm doing this as basically a fear kind of check. Yep. So you're going to add a setback to pretty much anything you do for this encounter. Because
he's pissed, he's fearful, because he knows the other thing, the thing that's going through his head is stay alive. He starts a fight here, they're not going to survive.
Yeah, so I don't think you have to I don't think you have to start. I think you're just seething then.
Oh, yeah.
You're not calming yourself down by being angry. You're just seething.
And I'm just, that intensity. Yeah. Vans isn't twitching anymore. He's just pissed.
Locked eyes. And so, you see Drielzad kind of has swiveled around in their chair and kind of stands up.
And he's looking at the blaster on his hip. He's just staring at that blaster.
Yeah. And he just kind of like cocks their head a little bit towards Vans. Sorry, do I know you?
I don't think we've met.
Well, we have now. Drilzad, I'm been made aware that you all require something of me.
Zale, pleasure to meet you. We're, well, I'm guessing you're the sort of person who appreciates us getting down to business quickly. We're here to get to the bottom of what's been happening to hyperspace and see what. And Zale is just going to take a complete shot in the dark here because they have something that they're pretty sure is a thing, but yeah, this is the sort of thing where everything might go completely wrong. We think you might be able to help figure out why the cartel wants all of this going wrong.
So this is going to be negotiation for sure.
Okay, it's negotiation, not deception. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know what I'm sorry, the player's gonna freak the heck out now.
Yeah, no, listen, if I could make a fear roll, if I could make EO make a fear roll, I would. So I think
EO failed their fear roll.
Well, here's the thing. I think Zale was just like basically put all their cards on the table, so that feels very much like negotiation to me. Like you're not exactly being
except that we're lying about who we suspect.
Sure.
And what Zale is hoping for from this is that basically they're hoping for a reaction. Whether Drilzad buys it or not, that's going to tell them something.
Yeah, just in the way you phrased it, I think negotiation worked best for me. So this
Sorry,
is
I'm so
I'm
just
I take it as a compliment. So this is gonna be daunting, which is 4
crud.
dice, because of their willpower.
Oh, they have 4. Oh no. Why do I only ever make social checks against people who are completely out of our league?
Now, luckily for you, they do not have Nobody's Fool, so it's not going to be upgraded. So it's just 4 purple. It's only daunting.
Can I use a destiny point? I want to use a destiny point.
I would love to let you use a destiny point.
Come on. Okay, using a destiny point. Okay, that's upgraded.
So I'm already got my 4 dice in the bag.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. So if you could tell the audience at home what you got.
Failure, 2 threats, and a triumph. I think I know what my triumph is.
Okay, what's your triumph?
Well, seeing as the roll kind of failed, there's no successes there.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably not really getting. They don't like this, whatever it probably. I don't know, but the reaction is going. I am going to get the reaction. I'm going to get a reaction that tells me something about what they know about this.
Yeah, you definitely take 2 strain for your 2 threat. As you are standing in this room unarmed with this massive hulking Dashad and this imposing Nautilin and 5 guards just speaking.
And completely taking a shot in the dark that might go completely wrong.
Exactly. And you do get a momentary flash of like, they give you a look of like, what do you know? And
Okay.
they kind of look at their rings and like adjust them slightly on their fingers. I don't. I think you're all not necessarily here for my interests the more you talk.
Besides the Banshee's wail on his one side of the hip, what other blaster does he have on the other side?
No, it's just the
Oh,
Banshee's
you just
wail.
have the. And then the big bad guy, does he have a blaster in his hip?
The Dashad?
Yeah.
Nope, they seem unarmed, but you know.
Okay. Vance turns around and goes to the bar and goes and gets a drink and slams a drink.
Yeah.
A large drink.
Sounds good. Just
Zale's sort of twitchy now too, and so they just sort of head turns like, what? There's this expression of "what are you doing?" but they don't stop Vance from going.
You all seem tense. Why don't you all go grab a drink and come back to me and recollect yourselves?
Yeah, at most, we'll absolutely grab like a whiskey or something and just down that.
It's on me.
Right.
Much
I'm sure we all
appreciated.
appreciate it.
Very much so.
And as Zale goes over, they're sort of trying to do that thing where they're trying to keep an eye on the entire room at once, but that's not really possible. So they keep looking at Vans like, because they have no idea what's going on here.
This is not Vance. Van's normal. This is not Van's normal character. He is pissed right now.
Vans, you good?
No.
Seriously.
No.
Look, Vans, I don't know what's going through your head right now. I don't think I want to know, but please just pull yourself together, all right? And while I, as a player, am aware that this is probably a terrible idea, if the player behind Vans consents to this, Zale wants to be using influence to try to calm Vans down a little.
Okay. Yeah. So how does this typically would it take basically
discipline versus discipline plus my force dice.
Okay. So Vans, what's your discipline?
That is an excellent question. Unfortunately, Vans does not have great discipline. He has 1 green.
Okay.
Because it's willpower.
Yeah. Here, I'll help you out. I'll use a dark side point to upgrade that to a red.
Ooh.
Okay, I have a horrible feeling about what this
could possibly go wrong.
But I'm going to.
I will say I do think because of the fear effect that I'm gonna basically take the setback die in as well, right? The idea that this has you're pretty good at this. I'm pretty sure. At least you're not terrible at it. But you are trying to talk down Vans from this moment, and that's not going to be. So it's going to be a black and a red.
Okay.
The easiest
you ready?
thing you've attempted this session. So, yeah.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. I have my force die in there. Unfortunately, I don't have a great discipline either, so let's see how this goes. Well, I would have succeeded, but influence has a special rule. When you're rolling things, you can only do positive emotions or calm people with light side pips, and I got a success and a dark side pip. But
You could call upon the dark side if you really wanted to.
Zale doesn't know what she's doing at all.
I mean, I would say that you could, like, because this has all been kind of instinctual. I will say that, like, Zale won't know what she is doing, but I will allow you to. If I remember correctly, you basically use a destiny point and flip it into a light side point, right?
That's not exactly what that is.
Okay.
No, it's like...
Well, for the viewers at home.
For the viewers at home, every Force user is either light or dark aligned, basically, and by default, people tend to be light aligned if they're random untrained people and haven't been doing horrible things. So Zale and influence in specific has that special rule. Zale can flip a destiny point to use that dark side pip, but it doesn't turn it into a light side pip.
Okay.
It's still drawing on more negative aspects of herself.
Got it.
And I don't want to flip our you gave one back.
I gave one back, so
you did give one back. I want to ask both you and Vans, do you think it would help Vans to... Okay, she's giving him a pep talk, kind of, and this sort of... something about it makes it less...
I would like to jump in. What I will say, because this is kind of not how it's supposed to work, what I will say is basically this will delay the rage, right? You are going to basically suppress the rage.
I have an idea, though.
Yeah, what's up?
Instead of suppressing it, sort of squish it together, focus it a bit. He's still ticked, but he's less on edge about it.
Yeah.
And that actually plays into a thought. He calms himself and he studies this room because he's going to assault it, not now, in the future. He is finding every little detail about this room. He's looking, he's pissed, but he's calmly pissed and just has that silent, deadly, just silent type, just going, if I lose it here, we're dead. Nope, I'm not going to lose it here, but I'm going to do something. I'm getting the F out of here, and I'm just, as soon as possible, we're in and out.
Okay. I'm flipping the destiny point and taking the point of strain.
Yep.
And the rest...
And Vance just goes over and just, Zale?
Yes?
I will not do anything now.
Right. Got it.
And slams another drink. I will tell you later.
All right. Got it.
While all this is going on, Atmos is sipping on his whiskey, but while he's doing so, he's kind of surveying the room, right?
Yeah.
So I know that we've got our Nautilin friend, Drillzod, as well as her Deshad bodyguard. Is there anybody else in the room? Any other bodyguards?
Yeah, so there's like those other 20. This is like in the kind of dead center of the room, Drillzod's table, and it's got a wide berth. Like this is the VIP section right there. But you do see there's probably a few other like bodyguards standing around a few different tables, but for the most part, it's just other rich people gambling.
Okay.
Like only the bodyguards don't seem like they're Black Sun in line. They're just being paid to guard one person.
Mhm. All right.
Vance did glance over at Bishop at one point and just kind of looking at him to see and just assessing what would Bishop do right now?
Oh, it's hard to say. Bishop doesn't drink, so he didn't actually move away from the table yet.
Okay.
I'd like to think that I'm just awkwardly hovering.
Yeah. Drillzod notices that and just very, like, not even a problem, just maintains direct eye contact with you.
Okay, so we just stand there in a tense silence.
Mm-hmm. They almost seem to just enjoy just trying to make you a little uncomfortable by staring you down.
I don't think it would work.
Sure. I believe it. So I'm assuming eventually the other three make it back to the table.
Mhm.
Zale didn't actually drink anything either. She was
That's
just
fine.
trying to pep talk Vance.
Mm-hmm.
Vance stays at the bar for a little bit longer and let us, Zale and Atmos go back. He's just still at the
All
bar,
right.
just kind of like, I'll be there when I can.
Yeah. Atmos is actually going to pass Vans on the way back, and he's going to say, "Get yourself a Bantha Blast. It'll calm your nerves."
That might be better. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Atmos. Don't worry. I'll let you know what's up very soon.
So yeah,
So, I think that considering that you have to take strain, etc., when you're using the wrong kind of pip and such, I think that Zale kind of subconsciously picked up a little bit of Van's anger. So as she's heading back, there's a little bit less twitchy in her Leku and a little bit more. She feels sort of, well, something about this is all wrong, and she's not happy about it.
So yeah, you see Driel kind of motions for you all to sit. I don't know if you all do.
Zale sits.
Atmos will stand up. He's gonna like stand up next to like where he would sit, but he's still standing up.
Okay. What does Bishop do?
No, we're still staring. Unless
Sounds
he's looked
good.
away. But that's kind of the MO.
No, so far, full eye contact. Drielzod will break it to kind of address the group as a whole. Say, I think we should start a little fresher. It sounded to me from the way you all were speaking, or at least the way you all have kind of acted, that you're not necessarily employed by those who have my best interests at heart. So I just want to make sure that if I am going to be dealing with you all, that I'm not dealing with those mean me harm.
I assure you that our only interest is to find out what's going on, not to disrupt your particular operations here.
I think that
Dale's going to lay out a little bit more of the whole. Well, she's operating on the whole. The best lies are actually mostly truth, and is going to add, I'm a Meshta. We don't get into politics, but I've got some cousins who need to ship, who need to refuel, and things have been going wrong. They're
right.
worried.
So this, I think, is going to be a joint deception. for you two here.
No.
Deception. I have 2 greens in deception.
I thankfully have 2 yellows and a green.
Cool. So you're gonna
And-
get a boost from
Yep, get
Atmos.
your boost die.
And again, it's 4 purple.
Okay.
I got 4 of them, so I'm gonna use a dark side point.
No.
Make one
no.
of them red.
Does this mean I can immediately flip it back and give it a 3rd yellow?
You
No,
can.
I think you can only use 1 destiny point per check. Dark
Yeah,
or light.
but he's using 1.
The
Let
one
me
that
double check the rules.
So the rule is that if the GM uses 1 to turn over from dark side to light, that pip no longer can be flipped this round. If we have an additional pip available, then we can flip that one. So only
You
1
do.
pip
Oh, okay.
per person can be flipped per round.
So yes, you can flip a different pip.
Okay.
So yes, if you
Which
would like
luckily
to,
we had.
you do.
All
So
right.
if you want to put it right back to 1 and 4,
Do it.
I'm very okay
I'll do
with
it.
Sounds good. So it's going to be 3 purple and a red for this.
And I have 3
And then
yellows and a
if you have
boost.
any additional abilities, I don't know for your archetypes and stuff, if you have any additional deception coolness.
I wish I did, but I don't.
All right. Well, then let's see what happens.
Okay.
Oh!
Oh, you
wait.
didn't roll your
Correct.
dice.
You didn't roll your dice.
Oh, I didn't roll my dice. That's the problem. I didn't
Let's-
roll my dice.
Let's retry
I had
that
a heart
again.
attack.
That's what I only rolled the dice pool. I didn't roll my dice into the pool.
Yeah.
If we get another that's worse, I'm not going to be happy.
No.
Okay.
Oh my word.
Oh, goodness. It's not
Well,
worse.
It's not worse.
Advantage of
Wow.
maybe we seem a little hinky, but it's not catching on to we're working for the huts. It's catching
Yeah.
on to we're probably like doing some other stuff here too.
Yeah, I think this is
We're trying to sound more
Um,
innocent than we are.
For those at home, that was 2 failures and an advantage.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have a
Which is better than
suggestion.
4 failures, 2 threats.
yes.
I have an idea.
Mhm.
Although he might not think that we're working for huts, he might think we potential pirates
I think
or a different group, different
Yeah.
consortium.
I think this is what he you see, they push themselves out of the chair and say, I think you all are just here to waste my time, actually. If I could, I'll give you a free piece of advice before you all are escorted out of my area. You see, they like very pointedly refrain from saying casino. Don't go poking your nose in things that are above your pay grade. Have a great day at the Royal K.
Vance walks up and says, "Are you a betting man?"
Oh no. And honestly, that might have been in character and out of character. Zale sort of goes, "Oh, Vance, no."
Hey, you've gone robot here.
You've got a
Yeah, we've
robot
got
again.
robot. And that's a great time to take a break here for Halcyon Days, and we'll be right back.
Short break. Cliffhanger.
That's right. We're so good. We gave cliffhangers in the middle of the session. Alrighty. So we should be right back. So Vans just walked up to Drilzad after they kind of dismissed you all and asked, "Are you a betting man?" To which Zale immediately said, "Oh no."
Vance, no.
And you see, for the first time, just on a full-on smile on her face. Say, why else would I spend all this time in the casino? And just motion to the table welcomingly.
Vans looks over at Zale and gives her the look like, it's, remember how I won the ship. Look.
Zale sort of swallows, and their leku go kind of still, and
as Vans was like, looks at the table, is like, this game is sabak.
Is it?
Indeed. Yes.
Okay.
Do you only bet at sabak?
I tend to stick with Sabak. I have a question for you. Do you want to start low stakes with just credits, or should we skip right to the fun part?
Depending on the fun part is always fun, but it's depending on your stakes.
Well,
what do you want?
I think I'd like some actual honesty from you lot.
That can be cheap or moderate, depending on the price. But what do you offer?
Well, I certainly have honesty of my own.
We start small and raise the bet as we go.
Sure, we'll start low stakes, some credits.
No, truth.
Okay.
Low truth.
All right. Small
But-
truth.
Small truths.
All right. Alrighty, so the wager is a small truth
Mm-hmm.
from each person. So we're going to use cool unless you're cheating in some way.
I would use skullduggery if I could.
I certainly, you are basically cheating.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
no.
Difficulty.
I have these skills, but I'm not in the game.
Skill of the opponent. So basically, I have to look at their cool.
So it would be an opposed check based on, I believe. And so whatever their rating is, if they're proficient, turns into a red. If they're unproficient, turns into a purple versus what my skill would be rolling, and vice versa.
Yeah, I got some bad news for you, bud.
I
They
bet
are
you do.
very cool.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
So it's a 1-to-1 ratio, I believe, correct?
If it is, yes. So
Basically,
if they,
like a yellow turns into a red and a
Yep.
green turns into purple. Okay.
that is correct.
So that means you're going to be going up against 2 red and 2 purple,
Okay.
as they are pretty good at keeping their cool, it seems.
They are. So I'm going to be continuing. I'm going to be continuing to do this for the entire time. Okay. Yeah. We're going to do this. This is going to be, oh yeah. Come on. Oh yeah.
Fuck time.
And I do believe you also roll a force die.
Nope. I don't have any force. So nope, I don't have to. It's straight.
Each character then rolls their check, leaving the results on the table. Each then rolls a single force.
Yeah,
to
that's
illustrate the
representing
shifting
your
nature
luck.
of the cards.
Their
It's
luck.
your luck.
Excellent. That's right. I forgot we're doing that. So I need to roll a
So,
No,
force
speaking of
dice.
force dice, I have a question.
yes.
Is this a situation where Vans, having been sort of focused, would give him a boost?
I will say it will not make him take the setback.
Oh, right. I
the
forgot
fear
about the
effect.
setback. I forgot about the
So,
setbacks.
I will say,
Yep.
also, to cheat, you use Deception, Computer, or Skullduggery. If the character decides to cheat, they must upgrade the difficulty to check once. So I'm going to do that.
Oh,
Vans,
okay.
no.
And
Well,
the
then-
despair means they get caught.
Yes.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
So knowing that is Vance going to cheat,
If that's the case, I think I might stick to cool.
you're just going to play it fair. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
I'm going to play it fair the first time.
All right. So that's it. So what are you rolling with here?
I'm rolling a yellow and one green, and I'm rolling my cool.
All right. So
All right, you're all set?
I sure am.
Let's do this. Come on, what can happen?
Bad things.
Luck be a lady tonight? Nope.
That's 3 failures and 2
Advantages.
advantages.
In all honesty, Van knew he was going to fail this one.
Mhm.
He's setting him up.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So that's the
That's the setup.
You
Oh,
get
yeah.
a boost
Okay.
coming up next.
Yeah, so I knew I was going to lie. I was going to fail this first one, but I'm setting him up for a better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, and now you get these stare downs. So they basically like they have the cards and they are basically just using the periphery to see what their sabacc cards is. They're just keeping
Mhm.
direct eye contact with you the whole time.
Likewise.
And,
So
you are.
I lay him down
handily
like,
defeated.
oh, Lady Luck does not. Oh, I didn't roll my fourth destiny point.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't roll.
Yeah, please.
For some reason, did not roll. So let me roll that. Oh,
Okay, so we'll
Yeah.
just ignore everything else. We'll just use the force dice. So the 2 white actually, whoa. So each white pip changes 1 success and 1 threat into a success and advantage. So basically, you actually have only 1 failure.
one
Basically is
failure.
What that means.
Okay.
So you aren't actually as handily defeated. It's close.
Mhm.
But you do still lose.
That's. Oh, Lady Luck does not seem to favor me today. What
Well.
question would you like to know? What truth would you like to know?
Just a small one. So who got you into this room? I don't care who sent you. Just who got you in here?
There was the player doesn't remember his name. A friend of a friend, one of Atmos friends. Bounty hunter, I believe.
Out of character, their name was Krita.
Krita. I believe Krita. Krita was his name.
Bannon.
All right. Well, are you wanting to keep going?
Are you afraid to lose?
Never have been.
Although, is there anything else you're good at other than cards?
Many things.
Like what?
You're in the losing position right now. I think Sabacc suits me for now.
Okay. We play it again. Let's see if I win this time.
What are you wagering?
Truth.
All right. It's going to be the same roll then, unless you are now cheating or.
Nope,
Okay.
not yet. And then
And
then he asks, "What are you wagering?"
Do the same deal here, but we'll make them some larger truths. How about that?
Okay.
So, and you do get a boost die though from last round. As you're
All right.
basically you're like playing into their ego a bit.
Oh yeah.
They're getting confident.
This feels very similar to what he did to earn his ship. All right, let me know when you're ready for my cool.
You know it.
All right, here we
Always
go.
ready for my players to be cool.
All right, so I don't know if the force dice is going to work here or not because it didn't last time. So I may have to roll it again.
You put it into your pool.
I did put it in my pool,
Oh.
but it didn't roll for some reason. But-
Weird.
Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Because I'm going through the skill pool, not the dice pool.
Here, you know what? Ignore it. I'll put it in the GM die pool.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, then it might not work very well if you're doing it. All right, here we go.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh, wow. Oh, no. Okay.
Oh,
So I no
boy.
longer am the only one rolling despairs.
So
Oh, you rolled two force dice got rolled.
yeah, so I'll be nice and say that the light side point gets used.
Okay.
So turning one failure into a success, what does that leave?
That leaves 3 failures, a despair.
Yeah, well, it would actually leave 2 failures because you turn one into a success and that cancels out a failure.
Yep.
Basically.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
2 failures and a despair is the
So,
final result then.
looking at the Sabak rules, a despair means he bombs out.
Yeah, so that
Because he
means
wasn't cheating.
Right. So what that means is they win and they say, "Who are you working for?" What's my truth? That's my question. Right now, who are you working for?
The player's gotten stuck. I'm trying to remember who exactly we're working for.
Vanderajar
Van
Hut
Derajar clan.
We are
of Huts.
But specifically, if you want to go the
The Imperial.
Pacific's route,
Katal
there's-
Meshta is the.
We were working for the Imperials.
They asked. Who are you working for right now?
Oh, right now. Yeah. So
Maybe on not a despair, I would have left that wording. But
yeah. So the
who are
Nash,
you working for right now?
the Mesha, like I said, I missed the name of it again.
Meshtas.
Meshtas. The Meshtas.
Katal Meshta.
Katal Meshta.
All right. Well, I think that is all I need to know. And remember,
You are very good at cards. Clearly. But I'm good at shooting. And I know I could beat anybody that you know that could shoot.
I bet you could. But I don't think I have anything to gain anymore.
Well, the last ship I stole, or let me phrase that, the last ship I won, I shot my way with it. So I have a ship, I have money, you have money, but your pride is more important, is it not?
All right. This has got to be a roll. You're goading. So I'm just trying to think of what skill best represents.
Goading sounds like coercion.
Yeah, that's what my head was saying too.
Is it a coercion or is it more?
If you have something you think, if you want to use deception, I'll say that tracks in my head as well. What I will say, because I will. It's again, they have 4 willpower. So
Yeah.
it's daunting, but I will upgrade your check because you are you're calling him chicken.
Yeah.
So either deception or coercion.
There's going to be the same. So it's going to be low. It's going to only be 1 green, but it'll be interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
No. Do not get another despair. Tell me that.
Hey, there's no
despairs-
red. There's no red die.
Oh, okay. That was from before. That was from. I saw the one from before and went, oh no.
Yeah.
What's the worst he's going to do? Kick us out? So he's like, you just kind of go to him at that point and there's smiles and we'll see what happens.
Indeed.
All right. So let's go with, and this actually plays perfectly with his strain. All right. We'll go with our coercion.
All right.
Just because.
Perfect.
And
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so he's upgrading.
You get an upgrade for playing, calling him this, powerful person
All right.
with chicken.
Now, I've got a question for you, Vance. How can Atmos help with this? Because I want to help you with my intimidating talent.
I don't know, GM. How would that work?
I mean, in the narrative of it, Atmos would have to do something That wouldn't have to necessarily be verbal, but
We got a light side point, don't we?
yeah.
Left.
Mm-mm. I think Atmos
No,
is
they're not
going
gonna upgrade
to, in order to maybe goad them on a bit. Gosh. He's going to smirk, like, kind of slyly when they mention that they're not interested. It's subtle, but he makes it known with like a slight kind of nose exhale.
And you've noticed that this is a very observant person in front of you. So I'll say that allow you to use your talent because so basically, for the audience at home, what does that mean?
So I have a talent for being a gadgeteer called Intimidating. I may suffer as much strain as I have ranks in Intimidating to downgrade the difficulty of a coercion check or upgrade the difficulty when targeted by a coercion check. But I can only suffer as much strain and upgrade or downgrade it as much as I have ranks. So this will only be one strain and downgrade it once.
Okay, so it's basically now no longer daunting. It's just
hard.
There's
Okay.
something I'd like to do too.
Oh.
I don't know exactly. I haven't really played much, just run things. So, well, I lost my train of words. I'm trying to look something up at the same time as I say this. Come on, it's here. I know it's right here.
At least we now know Vans is not a coercion or a discipline guy.
Okay, this... I don't think there's any opposed check for it. I know that in the mechanics of it, this doesn't matter very much, but I like the narrative that something inside Zale is sort of stuck a little bit on the on. And she's trying to help stare him down. She's not adding to any coercion. She's using the influence basic power, stress the mind of a target at an engaged range.
Okay.
It's sort of, but I want to make sure that doesn't have to be like an active, I am reaching into your head thing.
So what mechanically does that do? Does it like make them suffer strain?
It inflicts one strain per pip.
Okay.
And I am going to roll my force die. And just my force die.
Okay. Hold up. I have stuff in the pool, so there you go.
Yes.
You're all set.
Okay. That I just cleared my pool instead of rolling it there. Let's roll my force die. Yeah, that checks out.
More dark side.
I'm not going to use our last destiny point. Whatever Zale is doing just sort of doesn't click with anything.
Okay.
She just looks kind of weirdly grim.
So for the viewers at home, you rolled a dark side point, and that means that it just doesn't work, correct?
Right. Because
if you don't
I'm
spend
not
the destiny point.
Yeah. I'm not spending the destiny point. I'm just... So Zale just stares whatever was in there. It just doesn't connect with anything.
Mm-hmm. And everyone else has gotten involved so far, so if you want Bishop to do something before we finally make this roll...
No, I think anything Bishop would do would change the actions.
Okay. That's fair.
So as Van is goading, he's thinking in his head too. It's like, hey, look, if this fails, we're out of here. But at least he made a memorable impression that this guy is going to remember for future references.
Sure. So it's basically going to be 3 purple dice with your... Or actually, yes. And then you have both an upgrade and the downgrade. So,
all right, let's make this coercion check. Here we go, people. Let's have some fun.
So
It's straight.
force die is in there from your sabak.
Oh, sorry, I had that in there.
We
But
could
all
just
good.
ignore that. But
Yeah. So
that's
yeah,
a straight
wash.
it's
yeah.
a
straight
failure.
wash. No.
Right?
It's a wash.
A wash?
So
That
yeah.
is
A
different.
wash is a failure.
A wash
Yeah.
is a failure. Yeah.
There's no
A wash
successes.
is a
so it doesn't
failure. It's
succeed.
just not a
It's not that bad.
failure. It's
Nope.
like, whatever you did, it just didn't work out.
Yep. It didn't work out.
They kind of they give you like almost like a decent attempt look, and they say, well, if I'm ever hurting for new ships, I guess I know who to call.
Maybe another day then.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and I just turn and I start walking and go from there.
Zale's going to nod and follow. They're still looking uncharacteristically grim.
Atmos will turn and follow. He's got nothing more he can really contribute.
Yep. So I think Bishop would audibly say, "Oh, that was a waste," and follow after.
I agree. Come back to me when you've got more.
So
Yeah.
as soon as we're back into the normal part of the casino where there's crowds and lights and everybody's talking and gambling and all that, Zale sort of puts a hand on Vans's arm in that sort of not quite friendly way and is, look, I'm not telling
The
you.
ship. We will talk in the ship, not here. We shall talk in the ship. And just keeps walking.
Fine.
And Vance proceeds to go to the ship.
Is there any other things that happen before, from you guys at least, before y'all get to the ship?
No.
Atmos is going. Actually, no. He's gonna return to the ship as well. Never mind.
Okay. So you guys pick up your equipment that you did check in, if any. I believe you guys kept most of your stuff on the Halcyon Days, but I think you guys did check in some stuff at the
One
front.
blaster.
Yeah. So you pick up that and head back through Quen. Again, just to recontextualize it, this is like basically imagine like Las Vegas inside a space station, right? Like there are just massive like neon holograms and just like massive entertainment district at the top of this station. Like, and then immediately after you go to the second floor, which is where your ship is at, it's just a complete 180 where it's all just like industrial, like ship repair, ship modification, docking, like very Spartan, like basically just the like kind of concrete type grunge that you kind of see in the more industrial sections of Star Wars stuff, right? Just like these completely different worlds, just not even like, just barely like super close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, why don't I get a perception check from everyone in the party as you all head back to your ship? I will say this is going to be hard. Just see,
3 successes.
2 failures.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Success, a threat, and a triumph.
Yeah, and I had 2 success and 2 threat, I think.
So immediately, let's just do the threat as strain. So Bishop, you keep an eye out, but you take 2 strain while doing so, and Vans, you take strain just for. You're feeling a bit paranoid at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So first off, for a triumph, Vance, do you have an idea what kind of effect you want going on here?
As we're leaving,
Mhm.
I would love to pick out security cameras, feed. So when I break back into this place, I know exactly what to hit.
Yes, as you guys are walking out of the Royal K, you see that like one of those big bouncers go up to like a panel and kind of put in one of their security cards and do some typing, and you see the like kind of security cameras like shut down and turn on. Like this is very clearly a control panel.
Clearly remember that number and that control panel.
Love it. And glad you mentioned security cameras, because basically you guys who succeeded, which is Vans, Bishop, and Zale, you all noticed that you guys are being tracked by as you walk through the upper section. There's like security cameras and stuff on the exterior stuff, which is not super out of the ordinary, but they track you, the group of you. There do not appear to be any in the second level, but you basically are being followed by these security cameras as you walk down the first floor of the station.
And when Vans gets back to the ship, he kicks over a storage container, grabs one, lifts it over his head, and slams it on the ground.
Yeah, you walk in and begin doing that as the ship is like, bing, welcome aboard, Captain.
Wham.
and one of the lockers, he's just hitting the locker, just left and right, and just smashing on the locker.
All right, Vans, if you're done with all that. Look, I'm not going to tell you shouldn't have done any of that. Goddess knows I was taking risks too. I just hope that it was worth maybe getting one of my family in trouble.
It will be worth it when I kill that man.
Great,
and
that's settled.
And I take Jessica, and I'm like, does this look familiar?
Yes, it's your gun. I've seen it.
Did you see it on his hip? This weapon was my mother's. It was called the Banshee's Wail. Its partner and sister gun is on that man's hip. That man killed my mother.
Ah. Well, I think...
And when everything is said and done, that man will die by my blaster.
Now, Atmos actually has pulled the holdout blaster from his belt and is actually handing it over to Zale.
Thank you.
First of all,
now I need to start getting into my makeup kit and completely changing out of all of this. Go back to being a scruffy spacer. Maybe get a little less tracked. Right, yeah, smile. We were on camera.
Oh, yes. I have no doubt he is going to look us up and figure out who we are. And he was going to figure out who we worked for. That is inevitable. I have to admit I did not play it as well. But right now, there's nothing we could have done against him. We got out. So
at least we know something now. Or at least I know something. And I know that it's them. They're doing it. And they definitely did do something to hyperspace. We trail him back. We'll find out what.
So, what y'all saying is, we take out the mastermind and a good number of those who might be perpetuating this could stop.
Well, I'm sure that there's some kind of mechanism that we have to deal with, but
Walking into the casino and shooting him up or shooting him isn't going to solve much. We need to plan. We need to make sure that this is goal, and we need to make this person suffer. We need
concur.
resources. Who is his? We need to find out who his enemies are. We need to talk to the hut person, and find out what he knows about. We need to figure out how we're going to destroy this man and provide information back to Zale's cousins, so that we've our obligation to the cousins that have been fulfilled.
I concur. Now, I have some ideas on where to start with this.
Please share.
It's rather simple, really. There are always street-level gangs that are looking to expand their power. Just appeal to one of their senses of greed.
I don't know. Royal K Casino is kind of the top spot around here. I'm not sure a gang will be enough. But
It certainly
top
won't hurt.
casino.
Someone like that.
I think you're on the right track, Atmos. I'm not sure you're thinking big enough. I think we should give one of the Royal K's competitors an opportunity.
You are thinking correctly, Zale. I agree. That man has grown through the ranks. He has made many enemies, no doubt. We contact those enemies, and we make a deal with them.
I'm going to change out of this outfit and into something more spacey.
And also, as this whole conversation going on, like a bunch of mouse droids painted like cats kind of come out and fix up all the stuff you threw around, Vans.
I look at Bishop. Bishop, what are your thoughts on this? You've been especially quiet again.
What do you mean, especially?
Well, no sense in wasting the breath. I think we know what needs to be done.
Now, I have an idea, and Vance, I want you to listen before you say anything.
I can, at this point, I'm ears. Please, share.
I know you probably want this man very dead.
Oh, he will die one day. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but one day he will die by my hand.
The primary enemies this man has taken are the huts. Not only can we repair our reputation with the Venderja clan by turning this person in, the person who's given them so much grief, but also, if we turn him in alive, he will probably suffer at their hands, and might earn us an extra reward.
If the huts do not kill him, I am fully aware that if alive, the huts will want to extract information from him, because he's probably has much information. But when they're ready to kill him, we need to negotiate that I am going to put that trigger. I want the last thing that man sees is my face and the blaster.
That is understandable. I'm glad we agree.
I have no doubt if we keep him alive. But the last thing that man will ever see is my face, just like he did to my mama. As I sit up there, it says, would you like to hear a story?
I am fine. I'm gonna go put my clothes back on. These are rather tight.
No problem. And I go sit up in the lounge with my feet up, sipping a drink.
Zale's going to change clothes and basically start scruffying themselves up a bit. Get off the fancy makeup, get on something that makes them look like maybe they've been in transit on a scruffier sort of ship for a while. And they're going to I don't know if this needs to actually happen on screen. I'm assuming it doesn't. So basically, my plan is to slip out and sort of catch local gossip from the space or crowd, hear about what's I assume there are a bunch of casinos here. I got the impression.
Oh, tons.
Yeah. And I want to hear, basically what I'm trying to pick out specifically is which one is the Royal K's biggest competitor, and is it HUD owned?
Love it. No, I want to play this. Let's do I think this is a great use of charm, right?
So one thing that when Zale leaves the ship and the ship goes, "Thank you for coming."
Yeah.
Eventually, if she's I'm not stopping her by chance, but after a few minutes, I will go over to Bishop and goes, "Would you maybe ensure that she doesn't get herself into trouble? Are you okay with that? I'm going to stay on the ship."
I'm not normally a babysitter, but
But you just be stealthy. Stand back. If she gets into trouble, step in. If she doesn't, enjoy. But I'm just concerned that she, being alone in this place and say no, they might try to pick her off. Or pick her up.
so there's a deep audible sigh, and he says, "Sure."
Okay. I will make it worth your while. I'll get you a new knife. A nice shiny knife. How does that sound? Sharper.
I've got a knife, and it works just fine.
I might have another sharper one.
Okay. I guess at that he just shrugs and walks.
Bishop is the worst person to bribe.
Yeah.
Why not give me some credits? I didn't earn these credits.
God, she must
I
be real
love
fun to shop for Christmas or Life Day.
Oh.
I love how I apparently need babysitting. No, this
babysitting.
makes perfect sense.
We'll
It's
find
not-
out.
It's not babysitting. It's to ensure that you don't get kidnapped.
So
That's fair. I just like the oh no, babysitting. I'm on board with this. I'm the civilian in this party.
I'm going to call this a 2 difficulty charm roll, although I got him, so I'm going to use a dark side point just because you're not in the safest of environments, and who knows what might happen. So it's 1 purple, 1 red. So I'm ready whenever you are.
Clearing my dice pool
for your
finding
charm
my
roll
charm.
here.
Time to roll them. That's a failure and 2 advantage. I guess maybe I'm just in the wrong crowd. People down here, they don't. Yeah, maybe they've got gossip, but they've got like 5 different kinds of gossip, and it's mostly speculating. And also,
It's
look at
spacer
these
gossip.
snooty people being all stupid and.
Yeah, here's what I say. We'll say you will learn just from that is that like there is a lot of like tension between basically the people who run the bottom 2 levels and the top, right? Like there's not like it's not really that it's all over in one corporation, but like there's people don't love each other. There's no love lost for the top level of Quen down here.
Maybe advantage is I managed to ingratiate myself a little bit, commiserate about how awful these snooty people are.
Yeah, they're like, this spacer over here knows what they're talking about. Yeah, like very much like you feel like they're not an army, but you've ingratiated yourself to this kind of like ragtag group here. Like you feel like you could call in a favor.
While she's doing this, Atmos, I think he still thinks that going street level is probably the best, right?
Sure.
Instead of finding all these hoity-toity whatevers up in the casino, he's gonna actually head down to like the streets and start talking around and see if he can find out like what kind of gangs are around.
Yeah. So let's see here. We'll call this probably streetwise.
I was
would
thinking
think.
streetwise, yeah.
So, I mean, it's not gonna be too hard. I'm gonna just call it 1 difficulty die. I mean, you're in a hut.
Learn a little bit about the structure of this particular underworld.
You're in a hut, like a space station in hut space. It's not gonna be that hard to find organized crime.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So whenever you're ready.
Alrighty. That is 2 successes and a threat.
Yeah. So I'll say threat is just gonna be a strain because, like, you do know that. Here's what I'll say. You are like talking to some people, and we'll get to what they tell you in just a second, but like you do notice like graffitied on the wall there is a black sun insignia.
Mm-hmm.
And that just a reminder right there as you're talking to these people that you talk to the wrong person here, could get you shot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, basically so you want to learn more about the like gangs here.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So, yeah, basically you learn that there is the primary presences here will be, the Hut Cartel. They, they basically let Quen do its thing at a heavily taxed rate, but they do have like presences in a few different casinos. The people you asked don't necessarily know exactly which casinos, but like they have a few casinos on the top level, but mostly they just keep an eye on the like massive like refueling and all that station here. Lets them control shipments in and out of the station. And then there are some Black Sun cells down here, but mostly if you're not in those kind of camps, of there's like 2 different main like kind of gangs. So there's the Vornskers, which are named after a like very dangerous animal that's kind of well known. It's if I remember correctly, it's basically like a large cat.
Closer to
or
a
no.
wolf.
Yeah, like a big like wolf-esque creature. And they're basically just kind of basically they run all the casinos down here, right? So they're like, oh yeah, let's gamble and pit fights and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the more stuff like that. And then there's also the steady drips, which are basically they make alcohol, which is called the steady drip.
Mm-hmm.
And they also do a lot of smuggling and stuff here.
They're like moonshiners then.
Yeah, they basically kind of moonshine and smuggle they can also smuggle like people and things around. So yeah, and I'll say you basically know like of a location if you wanted to try and set up a meeting. But yeah, basically there's the huts, there's the Black Sun, there's the Vornskir, and the steady drips.
Alrighty. I'm guessing the Vornskirs and the steady drips aren't exactly well armed. They're more suited to their particular avenues of crime.
Yeah, neither of them are as well armed as either of the 2 major organizations. The Vornskirs are more armed than the steady drips. Steady drips are more about just if you don't get caught, you don't need to be armed kind of deal, right? So they're more about just smuggling stuff, not getting caught. But the Vornskirs, you do know, like they do kind of extort some people in their territory, and they do also do like pit fights and like gladiatorial type stuff, so they're a bit more well armed than the steady drips.
Okay. That leaves me with a couple ideas, but I'll save those for when everybody else gets back to the ship. Because I think at this point, Amos has found all that he really needs.
Yeah.
And he's going to head back to the ship.
And then Vans, we'll get to Bishop in just a second, but Vans, is there anything you would like to be doing in this time, or are you just kind of plotting in the ship?
I change, I plot, and I call Uncle Rax.
Okay.
And I just simply, we don't have to play it out if you want. I'm just simply the transmission is, it's been a decade, but I found him. I finally found him.
Yeah. There's like a pause. That.
He's Black's son.
Like spits on the ground.
So I'll be in contact soon. Your assistance may be requested.
I'll see what I can do.
I understand, but I'll keep you informed.
You know, I'm always looking for pet projects.
He has Banshee's whale on his hip.
Kind of like nods solemnly. All four fists kind of like clenched up.
Yeah, we'll chat soon.
And Bishop. So you notice that Zale is blending in perfectly fine. Doesn't seem to be anything untoward, really. So if you want to just kind of like case Zale's location and make sure nothing's going on, you can. But if there's something else you would want to do before heading back to the ship.
No, I think Bishop stands kind of awkwardly, like maybe 4 people away from Zale at all times. He's not trying to hide or anything.
Okay.
He's just there a little bit behind.
Yeah, at one point I imagine there's just like a person that comes up is like, "Hey buddy, what are you doing? Hey, you want a drink or something, man?" Or
I don't drink.
Yeah. Okay. Just like very, they seem very obviously like put off by just this like gang just standing stock still. Okay. Like pats you on the back awkwardly, like keep up the good work, and just like wanders off. But yeah, nothing seems to happen. If only because anyone who might have been looking at Zale sees just this like imposing figure just standing almost stock still.
Yeah.
And at that point we can say, "Bing, welcome back," as you all come back onto the ship.
Well, I didn't get much, but I did get a bit of a feel for the stratification here. And I think I have some ideas about what to do with it. By the way, I appreciate it. And they sort of grin at Bishop and sort of do a little appreciative, but a little bit kind of teasing. I'm giving you a hard time for having a heart, sort of Leku gesture.
Mm-hmm.
Bishop has a heart.
Yeah, sure. Look, Bishop was given a command and followed it.
Atmos gives Bishop a sly grin before he turns back to Zale and says, "I also managed to figure out a good amount about the power structure here."
Good.
So why don't you tell me what you know first, and then I'll let you know what I think.
Well, It's just fancy people up there pretty much, and no one down here really likes them at all, even inside the same corporation. I know that's not much, but it's one of those things where you get a feel for it, you know where to start poking. I didn't get which casinos might have hut friends, but I think I can probably find some tourists who will chat to the nice, friendly Twi'lek who thinks that they're great and smart and clever and cheers them on.
Well, as much as I'd love to see that, I believe I might have an alternative solution. Now, I've been poking about the underworld for a little bit here, and I managed to find a couple of street-level gangs. The only one that really stood out to me was the Volunskiers. They run fight pits and gladiatorial arenas. If we could enlist their help, we could have an extra bit of muscle. However, keeping that in mind, the biggest threat to the Black Sun is the Hutts. Now, I don't know how involved the Hutts want to get into a turf war here, or how enthusiastic they are about keeping the peace, but I believe either way, we do have somebody that can help us on that front.
Your friend from the ship.
Exactly who I was thinking of.
Yes.
They
And
said they'd be down at Nests.
and I know the security code outside the casino and able to shut down the cameras. They're a little sloppy on their numbers, so that's something else if we want to go back that I know.
Their number is 11111.
11121.
Yeah.
The bouncers
Cannon.
were the bouncers were a little.
Well, yeah, both the bouncers were like large individuals. So they have like big, like meaty fingers, so they had to like.
I think that between the two of us, Atmos and I, might be able to get a diversion going.
Oh, I think yes, a little bit more. Your cousin wants to know what's going on. The influence, we've got a good idea. We need hard evidence. The question is, where do we find the evidence to? And once we have that information, I have no doubt. Do you think the Hutts, that your cousins will be involved, or will they stay out?
I believe that a friend from the ship can probably hook us up with a decent slicer if we need one.
Yes.
All we need to do is
I'm not bad.
get into their.
There might. Yeah, Uncle Rax has. I know of a slicer droid that might. I know somebody that a slicer droid who's renowned. Actually, a slicer, I should say. A known slicer who's very, very good. If that comes to that. But we'll see.
So,
before we do anything else, though, I want to just take a quick look at the map of the galaxy. How far... I know where Nar Shaddaa is. Basically, it's like an orbit of Hutta, so I assume that's right smack in the middle of a Hutt space. You said we were on the edge. Where on the edge?
So, basically, Nar Hutta and Nar Shaddaa, it's irregularly shaped, right? But you can kind of understand it. It actually kind of just looks like a TIE fighter without the big panels, right? Where it's kind of got a big blob with two little arms, with the left arm being larger. So imagine Nal Hutta and Nar Shaddaa are kind of like the bottom of that little cockpit of the TIE fighter.
Okay.
You're at Quen, which is at like the intersection of the left arm and the body. So you're like on the borders of the edge, but you're not like at the far end.
And we knew that there was trouble extending to Nar Shaddaa with the pilots.
That's where the supposed sabotage has been going on.
But the effects are all the way out here. I wonder. I have some other things to pick up from my new friends. Maybe not right this second, but I think it would be good to know about how far out people start hearing about hyperspace trouble.
Do you think we should meet our new friend out in the space? Not too far away, but a little far away, or so that we don't have any prying eyes? Or should we just meet here?
I think Nests is secure enough.
Okay. At some time, we might want to leave and come back, just to give the sense that we've put our tails between our legs, and they're, yeah. Give them the impression that we've lost and demoralized.
Perhaps, but I do think we should probably speak with our hut friend before we do anything else.
Very much agreed.
Whose name I totally forgot to write down.
So you met Nast, who's this? Yes. So the Sluisi is Nast, who runs the cantina, and then Jadar is the pilot you met. Yes. Jadar. Gaddar. Gaddar. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I think this. Yes. Thank you. My apologies for my outburst.
It's entirely understandable.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but if you'd told me that you just saw his face and wanted to kick it, and I might still understand.
That man stood over my mother's body and killed him in front of me as I was leaving.
Yeah,
my mother saved me.
I'm saying, even if it wasn't such a good reason, I'd understand.
But at least the good thing is, I know where this man is.
Yeah.
I have been wondering for many years. Now I know. Vengeance shall be mine someday.
Let's turn the Royal K upside down.
Let's have some fun. Shenanigans is our specialty.
Yeah, I think we're going to, and not quite there, but we're going to get one final cutscene here before the end of the episode. So we kind of, shenanigans are our specialty, and we kind of fade back out. And then we just have like a black screen. You hear a bit of like a beep, beep, like a soft little sound of a mechanical beeping. And we go into the like lockers of the Halcyon Days, and we see these like very fancy outfits that y'all received, like packed up neatly away with these like VIP passes on top. And we see the VIP pass with like a slow red blinking light. And then we cut to inside the Royal K.
Oh no.
With
okay, despair would have, yeah, okay. If the despair was there,
y'all also didn't say, like, you just packed them up. You didn't, So we see Driel with a little holodisplay of the second floor of the station with 4 blinking red dots where we know the Halcyon Days is. And that's where we'll end today's episode of Broken Space Halcyon Days.